Want to improve your English speaking and listening skills? Our podcast is the perfect solution. You'll hear real English spoken by native speakers, making it easier to understand and learn common phrases. Join us for fun conversations that will help you sound more natural in English.
Hey everyone, welcome back to English Nuts. Today's chat is going to be packed with interesting takes on life, learning, and well, a bit of everything. Stay tuned because we've got some eye-opening conversations lined up. Anna, let's kick things off. How's life been treating you? Still glued to social media?
Haha, you caught me. Yeah, it's hard to escape the grip of social media these days. I've been trying to cut down, but it's tough. You ever find yourself just endlessly scrolling?
Oh, for sure. I end up on Instagram for what feels like 5 minutes. Then boom, it's been an hour. And I can't say it's been good for my productivity. But you know what? It's got me thinking. How is this whole social media addiction affecting our lives in bigger ways?
Absolutely. In fact, I've noticed a lot of people, myself included, getting distracted by social media even when there's important stuff going on, like exams or work projects. Speaking of distractions, do you remember how Veronica did in her exams?
Funny, you mention that. Veronica didn't do as well as expected. She actually failed one of her exams. It's hard to believe because she's usually a top student.
No way, Veronica failed? That's shocking. She's always been so disciplined.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. She aced some sections, but overall, not great. And I think social media had a lot to do with it. From what I've heard, she's been spending way too much time online, posting pictures and chatting with friends.
That explains it. Social media can be such a time drain. Do you think it's what led to her not putting enough time into her studies?
It could be. I mean, studying takes serious focus. If you're always distracted by notifications, it's tough to concentrate. And you know, it's not just Veronica. A lot of people are finding their productivity and focus slipping because of how much time they're spending online.
Yeah, it's like we're all becoming a little bit too addicted to scrolling and liking posts without really realizing how much it's affecting our daily lives. It's not just students, adults, too.
Exactly. It's almost scary how easy it is to lose hours just browsing without any real benefit. What do we even gain from it?
Not much. In fact, I've been trying to rethink my social media habits. I'm trying to use it in a way that adds value to my life, instead of mindlessly scrolling.
That's a great mindset. Maybe we could start a social media detox challenge? What do you all think, folks? Let us know in the comments. How much time do you spend on social media daily, and do you think it's time to cut back?
And it's not just about cutting back on time. It's about using social media intentionally. I've started following accounts that actually help me learn something new or motivate me.
I like that. It's all about finding balance. Social media can be a great tool if you're using it to improve yourself or learn something instead of just passively scrolling.
Exactly. I've been learning about new hobbies, like photography and cooking, through Instagram. And it's been so rewarding to try new things.
That's awesome. I've also been using YouTube for tutorials, especially for things like fitness. But speaking of hobbies, I've been dying to ask you, what's one new hobby you've always wanted to pick up?
Oh, for me, it's definitely painting. I've always admired artists, and I think it would be such a calming and creative outlet.
That sounds fun. I think painting would be a great way to unwind. You should definitely give it a try.
Thanks. Maybe I'll make that my New Year's resolution. Have you tried anything new recently?
Actually, I've been getting into meditation and mindfulness. It's been really helpful for managing stress and staying focused.
That's awesome. I've heard great things about meditation. It's one of those things that can really improve your mental health if you stick with it.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, let's shift gears for a moment. Mental health has become such a big topic lately. What's your take on how people are dealing with it, especially in today's fast-paced world?
I think there's still a stigma around it, but I've noticed more people are becoming open about their struggles. That's a good thing. We're starting to normalize conversations about mental health, which is so important.
Agreed. It's great to see that more people are taking mental health seriously. But I also think that sometimes we forget to take time for self-care in the middle of our busy lives.
Yes, it's easy to get caught up in work, school, and social media. We need to remind ourselves to slow down and prioritize our well-being.
Exactly. Self-care isn't just about spa days and pampering. It's about setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and making time for things that make you happy.
That's so true. I've been trying to get better at that, especially saying no. It's harder than it seems.
It really is. But once you start setting those boundaries, it makes a huge difference. Have you noticed a change in your own well-being since you started?
Definitely. I feel less stressed and more in control of my time. And I've started journaling, which has been a great way to reflect on my day and stay grounded.
Journaling is such a good habit. I've tried it a few times, but I'm not consistent. Any tips for sticking with it?
I keep it simple. I don't pressure myself to write every day. When I do journal, I just jot down a few thoughts, nothing fancy.
I like that approach. It makes it less overwhelming. I'll have to give it another shot. Anna, speaking of new habits, let's talk about relationships. What's your take on love marriages versus arranged marriages?
Oh, I'm definitely for love marriages. There's something special about building a connection with someone and choosing to spend your life with them. How about you, Robin?
I lean towards arranged marriages. I think having your family's input can help in finding someone who's compatible in the long term. Plus, you grow into love after the marriage.
That's interesting. I guess there's no right or wrong answer, is there? It really depends on the person and their beliefs.
Exactly. Every relationship is different, but I'm curious. What do you think are the biggest challenges in relationships today?
Definitely communication. So many issues come from misunderstandings or not being open with each other.
Totally. In fact, I've heard a lot of couples say that they struggle with expressing their feelings. Sometimes we assume our partner knows what we're thinking, but that's rarely the case.
Yes, and with social media, there's a whole new set of challenges. People sometimes compare their relationships to the perfect ones they see online, which can create unrealistic expectations.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in comparing your relationship to others, but every relationship has its ups and downs, and we shouldn't expect perfection.
Exactly. The key is to focus on what works for you and your partner. What do you think is the most important quality in a relationship?
For me, it's trust. Without trust, it's hard to build a solid foundation. How about you?
I'd say communication. If you can't communicate, it's hard to solve problems or understand each other's needs.
You're right. Trust and communication go hand in hand. So, for all of you listening, what do you think is the most important quality in a relationship? Let us know in the comments. Anna, remember that social media distraction we talked about earlier? Well, it's not just in exams. I've seen relationships break down because of it too.
Oh, absolutely. There's this growing trend of couples arguing over time spent online. One of my friends had a rough breakup because her boyfriend was more interested in his phone than spending time with her. It's crazy how much social media can interfere with relationships.
That's so true. I've heard similar stories. Some people just can't disconnect, and it becomes a problem. It's like they're emotionally unavailable even when they're physically present.
Exactly. I think it's important for couples to set boundaries with their phone usage. Like putting the phone away during dinner or when you're having a conversation. It sounds simple, but it can make a huge difference.
Definitely. And speaking of balance, it's not just about relationships. Finding balance in all aspects of life is important, especially when it comes to work and personal time. Have you struggled with work-life balance?
Oh, for sure. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so it's hard for me to switch off sometimes. But I've realized that burnout is real, and if you don't take time for yourself, it can affect everything: your health, your mood, and even your relationships.
I hear you. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle, but like you said, it's important to take a step back and recharge. Lately, I've been trying to set more boundaries with my work hours and not bring work home with me.
That's great. I think we all need to remember that life is more than just work. We need to make time for the things and people that make us happy. So, for everyone listening, how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your tips.
And there you have it, folks. We've covered so much today, from social media distractions to relationship challenges and even work-life balance. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more engaging chats. See you in the next episode of English Nuts.
Yes, and leave a comment. We love reading your thoughts and interacting with you. Until next time, take care.